So, meine Freunde, seid ihr ready? Wir haben uns jetzt schon angeschaut, die 40 Spezies der wilden Katzen, die 15 Spezies der Hunde, Wölfe, Jakale und so weiter und so fort. Und, wie versprochen, noch die 8 Spezies der Bären plus 7 Unterspezien, von denen wir noch nichts gehört haben. Ich würde sagen, let's fucking go. Auf geht's.
Ja, let's fucking go.
Und los.
Bears
Ab in die
are
Bären.
magical, powerful.
Joe Rogan liebt diesen Trick.
People get eaten by bears all the time. It is a common occurrence.
A black bear, you become bigger. A brown bear, you become smaller, right?
It depends. That situation.
And a polar bear,
that was
you
a
just
black
fucking
bear.
say goodbye.
Yeah, polar bear, you're fucked.
Yeah.
Creatures that exist on 4 of the 7 continents: South America, North America, Europe, and Asia. They range in size and distribution from the gigantic polar bears
Polarbären, also Eisbären, erinnern mich immer an Bull Terrier mit dieser Schnauze.
of the Arctic
Voll
to the
krass.
tiny sun bears of Southeast Asia. In this guide, we'll discuss all 8 species of bear, where they live, and discover 7 beautiful subspecies covering a wide range of color morphs, including the Tibetan blue bear and the entirely white spirit bear. Let's dive in. Taxonomically, giant pandas are the most distant species from all other bears. They are easily distinguished by their round faces, black and white coat, and stocky build, weighing up to 275 pounds. Almost
That's-
all of a panda's diet is made up of bamboo, which is a poor nutritional source but easily accessible in the forests they inhabit. They will eat for up to 16 hours per day
Boah.
and are well known to do so in an upright position.
Leg mal, wie viel der essen muss, damit der auf 125 Kilo kommt. Damn, Kung Fu Panda Style.
This species once roamed much of Central and Southeast Asia, Myanmar, and northern Vietnam, but is now found solely in a small collection of mountainous bamboo forests in central China. Pandas are solitary by nature and have a relatively small range of up to 6 square kilometers, which they maintain by rubbing their scent glands against trees. The conservation status of the giant panda is currently set to vulnerable, although they are protected and highly revered in China, with their government
Yes.
even building bamboo corridors to allow them to move freely between mountain ranges.
Falls Sie dieses Jahr noch an einem ganz
Nee, wollen wir nicht. Lady, machen Abgang. Boah, schöne Tiere, aber machen Abgang. Wir wollen die Pandas sehen.
The Qinling panda wasn't officially recognized
Qinling.
as a subspecies until 2005, and besides the nominate subspecies that we've discussed, is the only recognized subspecies. They are named after the Qinling mountain range where they live and are extremely rare, with estimates ranging from 1 to 300 remaining in the wild.
Wisst ihr,
Qinling
was ich mich frage? Wenn das Vieh hier dir begegnet, dieses Monster, weißt du, das sieht ja aus wie so ein Stier oder so, nur mit so riesen Klauen und so. Wenn das Ding hier dir begegnet in der Wildnis, zerfetzt dich das dann in 1 Million Teile? Oder sind die freundlich? Weil Pandas haben ja immer so einen freundlichen Ruf, aber sind Pandas jetzt so radikale Killer oder sind die freundlich? Und vor allem, was ist dann mit deren Cousins passiert? Und mit deren Brüdern, dass die so aggressiv sind, so Braunbären und sowas. Ich könnte schwören, Pandas waren friedlich, ne?
pandas have a beautiful brown coat, are slightly smaller, and exhibit the exact behavioral traits of regular pandas. The spectacled bear is named as such
mein
due to
Gott.
the black
Uiui, was ist das denn? Jungs, was ist das denn? Oh Gott, alle Tiere sind schön, alle Tiere sind schön, alle Tiere sind schön, alle Tiere sind schön.
markings around
Weiter.
their eyes, encircled in white, although this pattern is not clearly defined on all individuals.
Das sieht besser aus.
Spectacled bears are found in the mountain ranges of
Oh, das ist wirklich, das Bild ist schlimm. Das Bild ist ganz schlimm.
South America, particularly the Andes, where they are the only species of bear on the continent. They are generally found in cloud forests, which are tropical forest ecosystems found at higher elevations and covered in cloud for most of the year. A medium-sized bear, weighing up to around 440 pounds, they are known as excellent climbers and are often found relaxing at the top of trees. Like the panda, the spectacled bear is a species of bear that does not hibernate due to an abundance of food year-round. Perhaps the most well-known spectacled bear is Paddington, who, being sent by his Aunt Lucy, arrived in London as a stowaway from darkest Peru.
Sloth bear.
Sloth bears are a slow-moving species who have poor eyesight and hearing, but have a keen sense of smell used to detect termites and
Das ist der Nasenbär. Hieß der nicht so auf Deutsch? War das nicht Nasenbär?
ants, which they suck up through their elongated snouts, a sound that can be heard for almost 200 meters. They are found in the tropical forests and grassland areas of southern Asia, with the majority of their population residing in India. Sloth bears have long, shaggy fur with a white V-shaped mark on their chest, which is sometimes absent, especially in Sri Lanka. They breed in the early spring and, after a gestation period of
Ach nee, warte mal, Nasenbären waren nicht Sloth Bears. Sloth Bears sind ja hier die, wie heißen die? Faultiere. Guck mal, wenn wir jetzt eingeben Sloth, dann kommen hier Faultiere. Guck mal hier. Ja, und jetzt ergibt es auch Sinn, weil guckt euch mal hier deren Krallen an und jetzt gehen wir hier weiter. Sloth Bear. Guckt euch mal dem seine Krallen an. Das sind einfach genau die gleichen Krallen und die sehen auch beide so dämlich aus. Sagen wir einfach dämlich. Ich hoffe, ich begegne keinen von den Viechern in echt, weil sonst bin ich 10 Teilen zerteilt.
around 210 days.
Ich mein's nicht so, Jungs. Beruhigt euch.
Usually give birth in the winter. Cubs ride on their mothers' backs until they are large enough to fend for themselves and become fully independent after around 24 to 36 months. As with the panda and the spectacled bear, the sloth bear's conservation status is currently listed as vulnerable.
Sun Bear.
The sun bear is the smallest of all bear species, with even the largest individuals weighing no more than 140 pounds
What the fuck, man? Das ist so ein riesen Mops.
and standing around 70 centimeters at the shoulder. Like the sloth bear, sun bears also hunt termites, along with bees and earthworms, and have exceptionally long tongues for doing so.
What the fuck?
They are excellent climbers and are thought and have
What the fuck? Der sieht aus wie ein Schwein. Also der sieht wirklich dämlich aus. Guck mal. Der guckt nach Madagaskar und das Augen guckt nach Nassau, Alter. Auf die Bahamas.
have exceptionally long tongues for doing so. They are excellent climbers and are thought to be the most arboreal of all bears, usually sleeping several meters off the ground.
Oh, irgendwie tut mir jetzt leid, wenn ich das Bild sehe. Ich nehme alles zurück, was ich gesagt habe. Du bist süß.
They are found throughout much of South and Southeast Asia, as far north as India and as far south as the islands of Borneo and Sumatra. Living mainly in the tropical forest biome, where food is available year-round, they are another species of bear that do not hibernate. Sun bears are thought to be the rarest of all bear species, with some research estimating there could be less than 1,000 left in the wild.
Uiui. Der sieht süß aus.
The Asiatic black bear is the first bear that we'll look at in the Ursus genus, which contains all remaining bears on this list. They are similar in appearance to the American black bear, which we'll discuss next, but have longer hair around the neck, and similar to that of the sloth bear, have a white moon-shaped mark on their chest. Due to this pattern, this species is also known as the moon bear or the white-chested bear. Asiatic black bears have a large range, being found as far west as Iran, through the Himalayas and into East and Southeast Asia, where they roam as far north as Siberia and as far south as southern Thailand. They are excellent climbers and will often use their arboreal environment to eat, rest, and escape larger carnivores such as leopards, tigers, brown bears, and packs of wolves.
Die Viecher müssen, die waren klein, ne? Waren das nicht diese Kleinen, die immer im Baum chillen? Die müssen Leoparden entkommen.
Members of this species who live in the northern parts of their range will spend the winter in dens where they hibernate or become dormant, a state of reduced metabolic activity that allows them to survive off their fat stores until spring.
Krass.
Was soll eigentlich noch passieren, dass du endlich die Entscheidung triffst, dich auch bei uns anzumelden?
Jungs, was soll noch passieren, dass ihr euch endlich mal entscheidet, euch bei mir anzumelden? Ich verkaufe euch heute das Produkt des Jahres, mein eigenes Buch. So. Heute haben wir es hier, mein Buch. Kauft's alle, kommt in meine WhatsApp-Gruppe 01753287899951. Lernt, wie man richtig Big Business macht, damit ihr euch auch hier so ein Sparkassengebäude wie hier hinten hinstellen könnt. Denn ganz sicher gehört das Gebäude dem Bre hier. Jungs, meldet euch an. Heute ist die Zeit gekommen. Wir machen weiter.
Was sollen wir noch alles machen?
Was sollen wir noch alles machen? Wir machen weiter mit den Bären.
The American black bear is the first species we'll discuss with a conservation status of least concern. In
Süß.
terms of size, they rank third behind brown and polar bears, weighing up to around 600 pounds.
272 Kilo pure Masse. Wisst ihr auch wieso, Jungs? Der hat sich gerade angemeldet bei dem sein Trading-Programm. Was sollen wir noch machen, damit ihr endlich auch mal reinkommt? Die schwarzen Bären sind schon dabei. Die Polarbären müssen auch noch reinkommen. Was los?
American black bear has a large range from Alaska and Newfoundland in the far north to parts of Mexico and Florida in the south. The color variation and distribution of those variations is fascinating. In the east, black bears are just that, black. However, it has been reported that areas further
Oh
west...
mein Gott, ist das ein Monster. Ach du Scheiße, ist das ein Monster.
can see over 90% of black bears exhibiting a brown or blonde coat. They can also be found with a silver-blue coat in Alaska, a subspecies known as the glacier bear, which is exceptionally rare. They are omnivorous, eating large quantities of fruits and nuts, but will also hunt large mammals such as moose calves and deer fawns. Fun fact, bears are not technically true hibernators because their body temperature does not drop during their dormancy. Regardless, the American black bear will also survive the winter in a den and can emerge in the spring 15 to 30% lighter.
Cinnamon bear.
The cinnamon bear is the first of two black bear subspecies that we'll look at with a particularly unique appearance. They are often mistaken for grizzly bears thanks to their light cinnamon-coloured coat, which some researchers suggest is not a coincidence. It is thought that through the evolutionary process of natural selection, cinnamon bears have come to mimic the colour of grizzlies, a larger and more aggressive species,
Alter,
to ward
Grizzlies sind so Dämonen.
off the likes of wolves and other pesky carnivores. It is also suggested that the eastern brown-coloured black bears use their coat for camouflage, ironically to hide from grizzly bears who are not found on the east coast.
Geil. Care-Mode Spirit Bear. Spirit Bear habe ich auch schon mal gehört.
The Commodore bear is a magical subspecies of black bear found in the coastal forests of British Columbia, Canada, where it is the province's official animal and is highly revered by the indigenous population.
Brutales
Due to the
Ding.
colour of their coat,
Oh nein.
these bears are
Nein, er hat Depressionen bekommen. Zu viel Matheaufgaben. Scheiße.
often assumed to be a black bear in albino form, but this light coloration is in fact caused by a lack of a particular gene preventing the production of melanin and producing an entirely white bear known as the spirit bear.
Geil.
Not every member of this subspecies lacks the gene, meaning that there are both black and white Commodore bears. It is estimated that there are between 100 to 500 spirit bears, which can make up to around 10 to 20% of the population in some areas.
Jetzt Braunbären.
The brown bear, which is also known as the grizzly bear in North America, is second only in size to the polar bear, with the largest individuals on Alaska's Kodiak Island
Scheiße.
weighing up to 1,500 pounds in the most extreme.
Alter, 680 Kilo. Er gibt dir eine Klatsche und du zerreißt in 38 Einzelteile mit seinen 10 Meter Klauen.
Cases. They have a large range spanning much of the northern hemisphere, from small populations in Europe and the Middle East, the Himalayas,
Was?
Russia,
Die haben oben in Schweden, also unten in Schweden, die Braunbären. Boah.
through to Alaska, Canada, and northern parts of the
Spooky.
contiguous United States. There are currently 17 defined subspecies which display some spectacular colomorphs. Although they can be similar in appearance to
Wie süß der
large
guckt.
brown-coloured black bears, brown bears have a large hump of
Wow.
muscle at the top of their
Also das Bild ist wunderschön. Das hat Potential auf Screenshot Hintergrundbild. Warte, ich mach mal kurz die Cam aus.
large brown-coloured black bears. Brown bears have a large hump of muscle at the top of their shoulder, a testament to how powerful these animals are. Brown bears
Habt ihr einen Screenshot gemacht, Freunde? Das war ein wunderschönes Bild, ohne Scheiß.
mate around May or June, and females will give birth during the winter, usually while they're still hibernating,
Wie süß.
emerging in spring with their cubs, which are usually 2 to 3 in number.
Wow, wie süß.
The
Kamtschatka.
Kamchatka brown bear is a particularly large and beautiful
Kamchatka.
subspecies that often exhibit a dark brown coat. They are found on the volcanic Kamchatka Peninsula in far eastern Russia, which largely thanks to its isolation, is home to the largest density of brown bears in the world. Their home range can vary greatly depending on the amount of food, with some individuals roaming 1,100 square kilometers in search of food.
Krank, Mann.
This mountainous peninsula is home to one of the highest populations of salmon in the world.
Das ist auch eine andere Welt, ne? Das ist auch eine andere Welt hier hinten. Mit dem Bär da. Das Bild ist auch schon wieder legendär, Freunde, hier.
Food. This mountainous peninsula is home to one of the highest populations of salmon in the
So, habt ihr einen Screenshot gemacht? Stabil.
world, which when it's not illegally poached by humans, provides the bears here with a reliable source of meat, hence their size. Kamchatka brown bears can reach almost the same size as
Schön.
Alaska's Kodiak bear, with males
Wunderschönes
weighing
Tier.
up to around 1,500 pounds.
Also auch wieder 600 Kilo so.
The Himalayan brown bear is an endangered subspecies of brown bear, also known as the Himalayan red bear. They are much lighter in colour and exhibit a longer pelage that helps keep them warm in their chilly environment. As their name would suggest, this subspecies is found in the areas surrounding the Himalayan mountain range in Central Asia, where they trek across the snowy slopes in search of food. Like almost all species of bear, these brown bears are omnivorous, stocking up on grasses, roots and other vegetation, in addition to other mammals such as goats and sheep, before entering hibernation around October. Although brown bears are not endangered, the Himalayan brown bear is highly endangered and protected in several of the countries where it exists.
Danke.
The Syrian brown bear is another light-coloured subspecies that have white claws, a unique trait that's not found in other bears. Weighing up to around 550 pounds, they are the smallest subspecies of brown bear, around a third of the size of their Alaskan and Kamchatkan cousins. Although their range has historically included Syria, they are now extinct in the country after which they are named and are more commonly found in other parts of the Middle East and the Caucasus region. They inhabit mountainous areas that span several different types of forest, including Mediterranean, deciduous and conifer forests.
Also wirklich dem seine Klauen, die sind auch schon wirklich spooky, ne? Wirklich spooky.
Where they search for fruits, seeds and other vegetation in addition to small mammals. The Tibetan blue bear is one of the rarest subspecies and is seldom found in the wild. They exhibit a very unique coloration, and although they are mainly black and white, their guard hairs give it a greyish-blue appearance, which is particularly noticeable on its muzzle. They are found on the Tibetan Plateau, which sits at the foothills of the Himalayas, the highest mountain range in the world. Their characteristics and behavioural traits are some of the least studied of all bear species, but we do know that they live for around 20 to 30 years in the wild and hunt many different types of mammals, big and small, particularly the pika.
Polarbären. Wie lange leben eigentlich Braunbären, also Grizzlies? Wie lange leben die? Das würde mich mal interessieren. Aber gut, machen wir erstmal weiter mit den Polarbären.
The polar bear is the largest bear on the planet, weighing a fraction more than the largest Kodiak bears, who also weigh north of 1,500 pounds.
Krass.
Their size is largely due to their diet, which unlike other bears who survive on a mix
Also ohne Scheiß jetzt, Polarbären sind so mit das gefährlichste, brutalst aussehendste, was ich jemals gesehen habe und was man auch jemals sehen wird. Polarbären sind so Monster, aber so süß. Ich habe mal früher so eine CD gehabt über so einen kleinen Baby-Polarbär, den sie großgezogen haben in einem Zoo. Wirklich so eine CD noch mit 7, 8. Voll süß. Aber wirklich, wenn das Vieh vor dir steht, musst du halt einfach gute Nacht sagen, ne? Man muss halt seine Grenzen kennen.
mixture of meat and vegetation is made up almost entirely of seals. They are found solely in the Arctic, the lands of which exist in Alaska, Canada, Northern Europe and Russia.
Boah.
Also known as the white bear.
Wirklich, Leute suchen Geschichten über Monster, aber guck dir das Ding auch einfach mal. Also Leute erfinden Geschichten über Monster, aber guck dir das Teil einfach mal an. Ohne Scheiß, das ist einfach ein Monster, Mann.
Sea bear or ice bear. Their Latin name maritimus means of or pertaining to the sea, referencing their love for the sea ice where they spend the majority of their time.
Und immer wenn ich Polarbären sehe, denke ich an diese ganzen Stories von Joe Rogan. Vielleicht kennt ihr einer von euch diese Geschichten von Joe Rogan. Wenn der über so Polarbären und sowas redet, wie der da Leute ins Wasser zieht und zerfetzt, das ist so brutal.
They were originally thought to be two
Schöne Tiere.
subspecies of polar bear, one existing in North America and the other in Siberia, but this has since been disproven. Polar bears usually mate in the spring, a period of time that sees males fight viciously for their mate. Females then spend the summer eating as much food as possible, often gaining over 400 pounds in preparation for hibernation. Cubs are born between November and February, often weighing just 2 pounds, and will emerge from the den in the spring, weighing between 20 to 35 pounds. The cubs do not leave their mother until 2 to 3 years of age and will not start breeding until the age of 5 or 6. The conservation status of the polar bear is currently set to vulnerable, due largely to habitat loss caused by climate change. Thank you so much for watching.
Geil.
Check out this video if you'd like to learn about wild dogs, and click here to view Relatives, a series
Ja,
exploring the
Freunde,
most
also
fascinating...
das mit den Wild Dogs haben wir schon gesehen und hier auch die 40 Spezien der Katzen. Das war wirklich mit den Bären mal wieder ein übel stabiles Video. Kann man einfach mal vierfach liken. Ich werde es aber gerade nochmal schauen. Grizzly Bear Gewicht. Wie viel wiegt ein Grizzly Bear? 270 Kilo, männlich, Population im Inland. Echt? Ich hätte irgendwie gedacht mehr, oder? Ich hätte ehrlich gesagt gedacht, Alter, was? Ah ja, Kodiak-Bären. Kodiak-Bären war diese Monsterviecher, der wiegt 780 Kilo. Die schwersten Exemplare erreichen ein Gewicht von knapp 780 Kilogramm. Das Durchschnittsgewicht beträgt 390 Kilogramm. Also wirklich insane. Was ein Monster. Was für ein Monster. Naja, gut, Freunde. Das sollte es mal gewesen sein mit den Bären. Das ist doch ein süßes Abschlussbild. Freunde, schöne Woche euch. Lasst euch nicht ärgern. Habt einen schönen Tag. Habt einen schönen Tag morgen. Zieht die Dinge durch, die ihr machen müsst. Wir sehen uns im nächsten Video. Kuss, Kuss, Kuss und au revoir. Macht's gut.